the editing feels sort of like clunky and awkward in parts. So I think it's sort of like a hodgepodge of one of those classic examples of too many cooks in the kitchen, that type of movie.
I wanted a movie that you just feel great at the end of it.
Well, tell me about your friend Eli Roth.
Oh, he makes embarrassing schlock that I sometimes enjoy.
Is he a typical example of failing upwards?
Well, he befriended Quentin Tarantino, so I think that helped him out a lot.
At what point? After Cabin Fever?
Yeah, I think around the time he made Cabin Fever, he made the Hostel movies, which Tarantino produced.
Okay.
So pretty early on, after Cabin Fever kind of was like a popular film fest movie. He befriended people like, Peter Jackson, Quentin Tarantino, and Tarantino put him in stuff as an actor. He's in like Inglourious Bastards.
Yeah.
So there's that. He did make, and this movie has Jack Black and Cate Blanchett in it. He made a few years ago.
House with the Clock in its walls.
House with the Clock in its walls, which was kind of like one of those like young adult fantasy Harry Potter-ish type
Big
properties.
flop.
Was it a flop?
Yes.
Are you just guessing?
I'm rolling the dice.
Okay.
That it got bad reviews and it was a flop.
No, I think it got decent reviews. I saw it. It wasn't bad.
Why did you see it?
It's a thing to watch. I don't know.
Is that a thing for watching?
I just saw it. I don't remember why. It was on TV or something. But yeah, so he did that, which was different than all of his earlier like gory, Hostel movies.
But yeah, I was gonna say he has a weird resume, because that's like a YA thing, and then the Death Wish remake, which clearly was a flop.
That was a flop. That was like one of the last things Bruce Willis did before he started doing all the like Redbox movies.
Right. Thanksgiving I enjoyed. I thought that was a cleverer take on a holiday horror picture.
That's probably his best
I think
film.
we did a review on that.
Yeah, we talked about it.
Yeah, and I was like, yes, and then you have to have the parade. Yeah, like whenever we watch a best of the worst movie, like, no,
They're
you're
missing
doing it wrong.
everything.
You're doing it wrong. You don't end up in the woods walking around. You got to have the Thanksgiving Day parade. I know you don't have the budget for it, but that's how it has to end. And you have to have the turkey, and the turkey has a bomb in it.
You have to cook someone like a turkey.
It was all like.
Hit all the beats.
All the beats. And then, of course, like his list as a producer, which is crazy. He produced the Haunted Museum show with Zach Bagans, which is just downright awful. Because Zach Bagans tells about an item in his haunted museum. And then he's like, here's a short film produced by legendary horror filmmaker Eli Roth about this item, object. And then it goes into like this like short film, which seems like a student made it, and it's like not about the specific object. It's like just like a story inspired by it. It's not like the backstory of that particular object. It's like a haunted doll, right? Well, here's a different story about a different haunted doll. It's fictional. We don't have to pay the rights for real people involved in it. And it sucked. But then he also produced a couple other programs. I Possessed a Pet. And A Ghost Ruined My Life.
Which is the best title for a TV show of all time.
Discovery Channel.
Filler, it's called. All those shows are called filler.
Yeah.
Things to put on during the middle of the afternoon.
So if there's one thing his friend Quentin Tarantino taught him is slap your name on something and get a check.
I suppose, yeah.
So yeah, that's.
But he's kind of had the career of like, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, like pre-Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn, where he kind of just was involved with lots of different things. Like he wrote the Scooby-Doo movies.
Yeah.
He did like web series, until he got like, his kind of studio break with Guardians, and that of course sent him off to everything he's doing now. So I don't know if maybe this Borderlands movie was like Eli Roth's attempt to break into a different type of studio movie, and it just didn't work out. The production was a disaster, so then he immediately ran back to making a cheapo schlock slasher film because that's what he actually enjoys. I don't know.
Yeah, could be.
Because it doesn't seem like anyone involved with this movie cared. It's one of those movies. I know it's like a cliche at this point to say something feels like it was like AI generated, but if any movie has ever felt like something cobbled together by AI, it's this. Every like tired cliche every tired type of like character, like archetype, they're all in there in one of those, the worst type of plot, which is we have to go to the place to get the thing. The Rise of Skywalker plot. We got the thing, now we have to go to the other place to get the next thing.
Yeah, like
Maybe that's the plot of the video game, I don't know.
Well, I mean, I never even heard of the video game. Never even seen anything until the movie came out and I saw some pictures. We'll talk about casting in a minute. But
Sure.
The video game, and so it felt like, yes, here's the scene. Let's move to this location and have an action scene. It did feel like playing the video game in an hour and 40 minutes, because like, oh, here's the exposition scene, followed by action scene, you know, whether it's the psychos attack them, they have to go along, a monster comes out of the thing, the Red Guard or whatever they're called come in and attack, and then
Set your watch by when the action scenes start.
you could.
Now's the point.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Then, yeah, pretty standard science fiction-y plot. Ancient race, or Aurelians, something like that. Have the vault of ancient wisdom, and everyone tries to unlock it, but you need these keys to do it.
There's an exposition dump, like an opening monologue, opening voiceover by Cate Blanchett to explain everything. But then she continues for like the first, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes of the movie. She has other voiceovers, and then it just disappears for the rest of the film. And all those early voiceovers, she's explaining things that we can understand is already happening in the movie, just visually. It's very like, I don't know if they threw that in there to try and make it make sense, but...
Somebody's decision.
But the vault, okay, we'll start there. What is supposed to be in the vault?
Well,
They explain it in the very opening, and then it's never really mentioned again, other than they want to get to the vault.
in ancient times, a very sophisticated race called Aurelians, Aurelians,
Whatever.
Bill O'Reillyans. They ruled the galaxy. They were, you know, the smartest race in the galaxy, and then they went away. Humans descended from them, or humans evolved, and then they've just been kind of scrapping together their lives by using their leftover technology floating around. That's very Star Trek to me. It's like, oh, an ancient civilization, you know, had this amazing technology that we're trying to duplicate. It's like something I've seen a million times before. So it was like second nature to me. I completely understood it.
But my point is, everyone for years, decades, however long it's been, people have been thousands of years, people have been
millennia,
trying to find this vault. And now we're with our characters who are trying to get to the vault. And it's presented as if there's some sort of stakes to them not getting to the vault.
Yes, there are.
What are the stakes?
The stakes is that Atlas, the man who's the big corporate overlord villain, if he opens up the vaults and gets the technology that's in the vault, he'll build weapons and like conquer the galaxy.
But our characters don't know that.
Yes, they say it in the film. They say if Atlas gets the vault open, he's going to use it to make weapons of mass destruction. They say it in the film.
Did I watch this
Yes,
movie?
I don't know.
I don't remember any of them.
Imagine the vault. It's the same plot as Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Well, that's what I was thinking. But it feels
You
like
don't want Hitler to open the Ark has immeasurable power in it, and Hitler will give that to all of his armies all over the world, and we don't want Hitler to open the Ark. That's the plot. Atlas is Hitler. Atlas is the bad guy, and he has an army. He's, you know, the technology, and everyone else is scrapping by. Little Star Wars and Star Trek mixed together in a post-apocalyptic science fiction, blah 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 blah.
Well, much like Atlas, when I watched this, I shrugged.
It checks all the boxes.
And then she has a voiceover in the beginning. She's like, the daughter of Atlas I've been hired to go find her. Blah 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 blah. And then it becomes like, and then she starts talking about the legend. The legend says you need the key and a true
Aurelian, or whatever the fuck they're called. Yeah.
Aurelian, I don't know, person, relative, daughter of Aurelius. She said daughter, I think, is the one who can open. I'm like, oh, it's her.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and then they go to the brothel that isn't really a brothel, and Gina Gershon is like talking about her mother, and I knew you were special. It's like, oh, well, it's her.
Yeah. Well,
Why are we
also-
even pretending it's not her?
And
by her we mean Kate Blanchett.
yes, Kate Blanchett.
Spoilers.
Kate Blanchett's in the film.
The main character, that's the big twist revelation of the movie, is that she's the chosen one.
Yes. But also, it's like I know nothing about this game, and I've never played it. And I don't know any of the characters' names or anything. But her name is Lilith, which biblically Lilith is the first woman. She was the wife of Adam, and then Adam got rid of her and got with Eve because Lilith was not worthy of the Garden of Eden or something like that. And then she's also kind of like associated with demons, and they keep calling her She-Devil, and then she's always depicted with red hair and wings, and I'm like, oh.
But she's the protagonist,
her
right?
name's Lilith. She's the chosen one who's going to open the gate at the end.
Yeah.
You know, I was like, oh, yeah. It's going to be her. And then the little girl's the red herring.
I also think it's a testament to Eli. I mean, look at the women in this project. You know, you have one badass, strong, tough, cool woman after the other.
So here's the problem with the movie. Let's just get right down to it.
Okay.
It's a fairly okay action movie, I guess. It's not super inventive or clever. There's no fun to it. Like, you know, the James Gunn Guardians movies always have some kind of fun action scene where he throws in some old 70s pop song and the camera's doing fun things and there's lots of visual gags.
Well, and they're inventive.
Inventive.
Fun things happen along the way. Here it's like they get to the place, the psychos they call them, which are like Mad Max villains, they show up, we have to shoot them now.
Yeah, it's just lots of shooting.
Everything feels so uninspired. That's why I say it feels like AI generated, where it's like, it looks like a movie.
Poorly directed action.
Yes.
And it's, but you know, if you're just like want to watch some action movie, like it's on that level, you know, like
it doesn't feel broken the way something like a Madam Web does, I guess.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, I think there was a point in the first like 10 minutes where I was okay with getting up and leaving. I got it. I saw enough, and I kind of knew where it was going. Because the very first scene, one of the quote daughters of Atlas. Spoiler alert: Atlas is using an ancient drop of Aurelian blood mixed with his own DNA to create cloned offsprings in the attempt of creating a true daughter of Aurelian to help open the vault.
Yes.
So she is not, in fact, his real daughter. She's just one of many clones or fabrications that in this space lab that's floating in outer space. Mm-hmm. But we don't know that in the beginning. Spoiler alert. So the scene opens with Kevin Hart, who's a soldier of someone, and he's there to steal her or rescue her or kidnap her, I don't know what. But they blow the door open and Kevin Hart comes in and it's all done in just like flat close-up shots. And she's like, oh, what's his name? Like Bernard? Or
He's Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. She's like, Kevin Hart. And he's like, I'm here to save you or take you away, get you out of this prison. Oh, so my father sent his shortest soldier? Now, how do you shoot that, Jay? In close-ups?
Yeah, just two.
How do you
medium
punch that
close-ups.
joke? In close-ups?
Yeah, just stay on this. You don't cut to a wide so you can see Kevin Hart's height, which we haven't seen at this point. The only way you know that that's a joke is if you know that Kevin Hart is famously very tiny. But in the context of the movie, we haven't seen anything other than this. The whole movie is this, kind of, except for the action scenes where it's just...
They're all like, they shot all their scenes in Eli Roth's basement on a green screen.
It's Quentin Tarantino's basement.
Oh.
Eli Roth didn't have the space for it. He
bigger
said, Quentin,
basement.
can I come over this afternoon? I'm making a movie.
Green screen? What the fuck? So, yeah, there were many. I wish I had a pen and paper. I mean, yes, I know I could take notes on my phone, everyone.
I guess you could have in this movie because there was no one else in the theater.
Sure, there was like 3 people in the theater. So I could have taken out my phone and typed notes in, but I don't like doing it.
Right.
Unless I'm in the top row. That was the time I took my phone and I was playing solitaire. Because everyone always calls me out on that, saying we hate movie theaters, we hate people looking at their phones, but I only did that when I knew for sure there was no one behind me.
You would not be bothering anyone else during the
Correct.
theatrical screening of Breaking Dawn Part 2.
Yeah,
the Twilight
I don't
movie,
remember
whatever it was.
what it was, but we were way up high, and there was no one behind me. So I would never, and there was a guy in the middle who probably was in the sight of on the site, but I didn't want to do that. But
Even if there's one guy, you don't want to.
I was trying to take down notes because I'm like, that's a joke there, but you can't shoot it like that. You got to move this around. You got to frame it like this. Because there were parts that were sort of funny. I think I laughed once, but the thing is like, was this a humorous movie? Was it made for children? Because all the Jack Black like one-liners were super like kiddie related.
Yeah, well, and they were just annoying. It was like non-stop. The
weren't
robot
witty.
in the family babbling.
Yes. Keep saying things, keep talking, and no one's laughing. And I was like, well, yeah, he wasn't a funny sidekick, and maybe he might have made like 6 to 8-year-olds laugh with some of those bits.
Maybe.
'Cause he said like poopy pants, and he was making
Yeah.
like dumb jokes, and it was like grown and interesting for adults, but
And it was just so much. He just never stopped.
like little kids would find that robot charming, but anyone above 8 probably wouldn't. And then
And I have no idea if that's an accurate portrayal of that character from the video game. I did see a quick interview with Eli Roth. I don't know if we want to go into casting.
yes, because I know what you're going to talk about.
I saw, some interview where he's talking about like, well, he cast for the movie not to be accurate for the video game, because like the character, the little character, is Kate Blanchett in the movie, but I guess the character is like young and hot in the video game, and I think Eli Roth has a thing for gilfs based on this movie. We got Kate Blanchett, Gina Gershon, and Jamie Lee Curtis, which I'm
Yeah.
gonna say,
Jamie Lee Curtis was showing some cleavage.